All right, and we're live. So welcome everybody for thanks for joining in. I'm gonna go into let's see. All right, let me just close that out and we'll okay, cool. All right, let me go ahead and share. Let's see, here it is. All right. So this time I'm gonna do things a little bit differently with regarding screen share. I'm gonna actually share. I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna share a whole screen, and that way there's not as much jumping around, and hopefully it'll add a little bit more. It'll just be a little bit more smooth here. Let's see. There we go. All right, cool. And then I'll shrink myself down just a little bit. Down. That looks good. All right, cool. Awesome. All right. So, yeah, for those of you that were here the last time, um, I I welcome you back. And for those who are new, this is day two. If you're new, there's day zero. I will link you to the content on my website, iheartjs.dev, in just a little bit, and help you get started. But yeah, we're on day two. You haven't really missed too much. So if it's your first time, I'm sure you'll be able to get caught up, no problem. But the last time in day one, we did a we did a we I gave a take-home challenge, and I'm not sure where. Hopefully, it was just right. It was not maybe not too difficult or too easy, somewhere in the middle. But the idea is really to help kind of solidify those new concepts that we learned. So I welcome your feedback um, on that. Um, yeah, so let's go ahead and review that last week. This is what we do every week is we review the last take home challenge. So you were tasked with testing the sign up feature. So we're testing the real world app, and we tested the sign in, and now we're testing the sign up feature. So we're going to be creating, you're supposed to create a new user through the form and sign in as that new user. And then new users are supposed to see um, they're supposed to see a dialog box that says, getting started and kind of a welcome onboarding type of thing. So um, if we apply the concepts that we learned to signing in, this is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and actually just live code this up for you and show you how it works. So let's see. So if I go here and then let me minimize that, and I'll bring it up. So this was what we did the last time. So we were actually signing in with a username and password. And let me see here. Okay, so what we did, let me just make sure there's got some new participants here. There we go. All right. So for those of you who are just joining in, I just saw that you just hopped in here. We're just reviewing the last week's take-home challenge. So we signed in to the app. That was what we worked on, and then now we have to actually uh, we're going to sign up as a new user. So I'm going to go ahead and do npm start, let's see, there's always going to be a problem when I, let's see here. Oh, I've already got it open in another thing. That's why. So let's see. So we've got our app. I'll just go ahead and rerun it here. So we're signing in, and we make some assertions on the on there, and then once we actually sign in, we're brought to this homepage. So that was last week's test, and then now this time we have to actually sign up. Now on the login page, there's a new, or rather, there's a way to create a new user by clicking sign up. And that actually takes you to the sign up route. And this is where you can fill out the form. So let's go ahead and we'll go back to our VS Code here. So let's go ahead and create a new spec. So here's our integration. So we'll do new file, and we'll do let's see, it's sign up. So I'm going to just do sign dash up dot spec dot js. Let me actually make this a little bit bigger so you guys can get a better view there. And so now we have our sign up spec. So we're going to do describe, and we're doing sign up. And I always do describe as the feature that we're testing, and then the it is what the user is going to be doing. So we'll also say we'll say sign up new user. Okay. And then, all right. So let's see. Okay, good. So we're signing up a new user. So first we have to visit site.visit, and then we'll do sign up. Let's just go ahead and try that. I always like to do, let's see here. Um, Whoops, sorry. Let's try this again. Oh, I see what I did. I've got to restart it again. So I'll do okay. It's always something when you're doing it live. And it always takes longer for that part when it's live, right? So npx Cypress. Oh wait, what we're gonna have to do is npm run should be able. No, sorry, npm start. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry guys. All right, so we got our server running. Port 3000. Okay, cool. And of course, it's now deciding to download Chromium. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. Oh, that was right. Okay. All right. I'm not going to bug that. I'm going to let that keep keep running here. So, all right, so we'll do visit, and then next we're gonna, once we actually visit the app, we need to, it just never ends. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, let's try it. Let's try it this time. So npx Cypress open. There we go. All right, cool. So now we've got our sign up spec, and we visit the app. Okay, great. So, um, so the way I like to find these fields, or at least one of the ways that works well, to especially to just get up and running quickly, is to use this to actually find the specific. There we go. To find the specific field, and then you can use this copy to clipboard. So now I'll go back. Now that I copied that, go back here, do nope, paste it. There we go. And then we can do type, and then we'll just say Mike. And now we can find the next one, which is right here. And same thing, dot type, and we'll do C. And then when I save, you'll notice it does refresh that. So now I want to do username. So I'll do paste that in, and username. Let's see, how about Mike C? Yeah, let's do that. All right, cool. And then password right here. And it's dot type. Oops. Let's see, how about password as the password? Super safe. And then, oh yeah, let's go back here and do confirm password. Awesome. Dot type. Password again. All right, let's save that. Let's see where we're at. Cool. So far, so good. Now we have to click on sign up. So let's see, sign up. We could use this data test. Let's try that first. Dot click. That worked. Cool. So, and it did a post to users. Cool. Let's see. If I go this guy right here, let's see. I just inspect it. Why am I having so much trouble doing that? Let's see. What if I, let's see, can I do it this way? Well, I know it's a button. Let's see. So I should be able to do button. Oh, sorry. Contains, and then button sign up. Let's try that. Yep. So that works too. It's another way of doing it. I prefer it this way. I think it's more expressive. The data tests before happen to be pretty good too, but I like this, especially for consistency. Um, I can do that, and it doesn't require any data.test and it's clearly a sign up button that we're clicking on. So super expressive. All right, so this is just signing up, right? So now we have to sign in with that user. So we have already done that here, so it's pretty straightforward to do that. So we'll do sci.get. Let's see. There we go. Okay, and dot type, and the username is Mike C. And then we are going to get the password. All right. And the password dot type is password. Okay. And then we're going to click on that sign up button. And I'm willing to bet that if I do sci.contains button sign in and then dot click, shouldn't have to look anything up, should just work. Cool. And then we made it here. So now we have to assert this. So how are we going to assert it? So the what I there were a couple of ways that I thought about doing this. I want to I think we should assert this whole dialog box. Um, but I thought, what if I just asserted that we have, this text? I guess that's close enough. Um, but then I thought, what if I look at this content? Can I do that? You know, and that has a nice data test. So I could do like, making sure that this data test is visible and then this one is also visible. So those two things. But then I dug in a little bit more and I actually inspected this and I think it was right here. Let's see, yeah, it was this role. So this is actually the whole thing, the whole dialog box. Now, we don't know if we don't want to just assert that it's a dialog box. We need to make sure that it's the dialog box that has, get started with real world app in it. So so what I landed on was doing this. I did let's see, sign in, click. Okay, so then I did sci dot um, contains, and then we should be able to do role dialog. Yeah. So it's a dialog and it's containing get started with real world app, right? Okay, that looks good. Okay, I can actually just save it and we'll just make sure that there's no problem with that. But we do need to um, make an assertion. We want to make sure that that's visible, not just on the DOM, but actually visible. So no problem finding that. So we'll do dot should and be dot visible. And let's go ahead and save that. Okay, and there we are. So there's an assertion on that for visibility. So let's go back to here. Um, so we applied those concepts. Um, so we could have clicked on the sign up button from sign in. So if we go back let's see where we signed in. Yeah, so we have this don't have account sign up. We could have gone here and clicked on that and then signed up a new user and did it that way. The reason why I don't think that that's the best way is just because I think it's best to keep tests separate. In other words, if we're going to test sign in, then we can interact with that. But if we're just testing sign up, let's not interact with sign in or a different page. Let's just keep all interaction to what we're actually testing. So we're just going to visit sign up instead of doing that. And we can still test that link, but that'll be a different thing. That's a different test. So we signed up a user. We logged in as that new user, and we asserted. Oh, we forgot to assert the URL. So let's go back to that. So we signed in and okay, so let's do the assertion right here. So we can do sci.url and then what should we do? Um, should equal, and the URL is going to equal localhost 3000 and just a slash. It's just that base URL, kind of like a home route. So let's see. Did I get it wrong? Oh, I forgot the HTTPS. No big deal. There we go. Looks good to me. What am I missing? Oh, it isn't HTTPS, it's HTTP. Here we go. That does demonstrate kind of the workflow, when you're writing a test and where you make mistakes. That wasn't staged. It was a coincidence, but I think it was a happy coincidence because we're able to kind of see, like I said, what that workflow looks like when you're developing a test and you make mistakes. Okay, great. So we're able to assert that URL and the dialog, just like we talked about in there. So let's see. So now, okay. So the other part, the bonus for that take home challenge was creating uh, um, unique. So like a unique username. So with with this um, with this app, if I go to if I go to sign in, well, let's just see here. So if I go to sign in and I do Mike C, I mean, I can rerun this test over and over again. And even though I use the same username each time, it's it's not, there's no error or anything. It's still going to log in without a problem. Um, so, in real life, we would probably have to create a unique user, different user every time. Now we could use libraries like Faker or something else, but I actually have a little trick that I wanted to show you to do that without using any libraries. So what we're going to do, you might have gotten a sneak peek at it already, but what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to take the username right here, and I'm going to do date. Oops, right here, date dot now. Like that. And what that does is that types in the Unix date for that point in time. So Unix timestamp is essentially it's every what second of time, and so for every second it's always going to be unique. So it's pretty much guaranteed. And in this setting, for this kind of test, um, and at least so far for the things that I've needed to test, that's been pretty good. And you can actually create a, uh, a a function to just generate a brand new unique ID for each spec, and make that more convenient. But um, but yeah, that's really how you do it. It's pretty simple. You don't have to use Faker or anything like that. If I wanted to, I could even do something like Mike, um, and then plus something like that. Yeah, I should be able to do that. So then it has a name at the beginning, you know. And I can even truncate this if I wanted to. In other words, maybe just use the last 5 digits instead of all of them. So yeah, so that's that could be really helpful, especially in a pinch to get a unique ID. Um, and I talk about it on the day 2 page. Okay, so let's go ahead and yeah, let's go ahead and check out day 2. I think we're moving at a pretty good clip here, so we can maybe take a break a little bit later. But yeah, let's do a git checkout of day 2. Do npm install, npm start, and that will start the server. That'll help you kind of get kind of caught up to where we are. So the solution that I just showed you is on day 2. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that now with you. And yeah, let's do that. So let's see. I'll just take all of this and I'll just dump it. Okay, so I've got a clean directory. I'm just going to go here and go to day 2 like that. I'm going to close these things out. Yeah, that should be okay. All right, and then you know what? Just for good measure, I'm just going to kill these things, and I'll just do npm install. Oh, by the way, I didn't do a git checkout because I used VS Code. But if you're using a terminal, or if you prefer to use terminal, um, you just do git checkout and day-2. I'm already there. And git status will help you see what you're on and what your status is. Okay, so this, we can clear that out. That was because I was running my tests at the same time. So I did an npm install. So let's do npm start. There's our React app. Restarting, and then we'll do npx Cypress open. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, we're good. So let's look at the sign up. And let's go back here, go into here. So something that's different that you'll notice here on the day 2 branch is I actually got rid of the examples. So if you do want to look back at those examples, you can just check out day 1 again. I don't think we're really not going to use those that I can think of for the remainder of the workshop going forward. It's testing a different app anyway, so so we won't really need those. So I got rid of them. So now we just have the sign in spec and the sign up spec. So this is our sign up spec, and everything's working fine. All right, cool. So um, yeah, so as our test suite scales, we need to be able to manage data, the test data specifically, like username and password and things like that. So what if we wanted to change the password, um, from like, to secret, from password to secret? So we can update the test, right? So we can put in here, so in this one, the sign up, we're putting in the password um, secret right there. But what's the problem with it? So do you see if you can see if you can spot the problem? And will this pass or fail? So it's going to pass. Let's go ahead and do it. So let's go here and let's do type password. So we're going to do secret. And same thing here, we'll do secret. Okay, save it. Whoops, this one. So we have secret, seems to be fine, and it passed. So what's wrong? How about this part right here? So if you remember, we're supposed to be creating a new user and then logging in as that same user. In this case, we're actually um, we're actually signing in as a different user. So we did, let's see, we did this. Well, we're signing in with a different password, right? But if we go here, so even if we did get username, type Mike C, let's just say we did sorry, date, here we go, date dot now, right? So same thing, it passes, right? So it's kind of a trap, right? Because what's happening is the test doesn't really fail when we make that change, but it's passing, but it's not really doing what we initially intended, right? So um, so earlier we updated the username and password, um, and yeah, it's a trap. So a better solution to this is what I call a data test object. So I mean a data object. So let's go ahead and try that now. So if we go in here and go up to the describe, and you could put it in the it if you want, but you can do const equals data. I mean, sorry, const data equals. You could do this, Mike. You could do this. Here we go. So now we want to do what, like first name? So we'll do first name, Mike, last name, C, and then username. And let's see, let's use that date dot now, right? Yeah. And then let's see, password. Um, Password, whatever. Okay. And let's see. And then we have, and then how about this guy? So base URL. Okay, let's try that. So let's see, we'll do right here. We could say data dot first name, and this one right here is data dot last name, and then this guy is data dot username, data dot password, data dot password, and let's see, we click that, and then let's do the same thing, data dot username, data dot password. Okay. URL equal to, okay, so we're going to take this whole thing, and we're going to do data dot base URL. We could even do like base URL plus, whoops, right? Plus, yeah, let's do that. And then let's actually, because that's technically not the base URL, that is. Okay, and then contains, okay, so let's go ahead and save this. Go to our test. Everything seems to work fine. Sign up, typing in Mike C and a unique user and a password, and using that same username and password that we used before. So that's the same, and that's the same. And we're signing in. Now, let's just say we want, now in this case, we want to change the password to secret. So now we just have to change it right here, secret. It's going to change it everywhere, right? So now if I now imagine, you had some kind of, um, some kind of magic to replace this data object with some other random data or something like that, right? Maybe you have a different base URL. You could do that. As a matter of fact, we can even do this. Let's do it's Cypress dot config, yeah, base URL. Because if you remember, I'll just save that and make sure it runs. But if you remember, if we go to Cypress JSON, we already defined that base URL here. So as we continue to change this, let's just say you went to a live environment, live test environment, so it's not localhost anymore. You change that, then you don't have to update the test. It's already looking for whatever base URL you set. So it's easy peasy. All right, looks good. Looks good to me. We're asserting that same thing that we were asserting before. Right? Awesome. So we have that data object. Definitely would appreciate your guys' feedback on that approach. If you use that approach already or something like it. The reason why I like to do data instead of something more specific to the test is just because if I do all of my tests or specs the same way like that, I know where all of my data is. It's consistent no matter what spec or test I'm looking at. So yeah, let's see. So all right, our sign up test. When we click the sign in button, the app makes a series of XHR requests to the backend, and that's what we're serving up with our app when we do npm start. But when we're after we sign in, and we need to assert that the dialog appears, right? There's a number of XHR requests that that are fired by the app that have to get responses before it even shows that. So if we go here, we can actually see that. So I'll show you all the XHR requests. So we've got this one here, this post to users to create a user. And then we've got this login right here for logging in. And then we've got this bank accounts, transactions public, and notifications. Now you'll notice that at each point, when we're getting the request, and you'll see this is the request, this is a screenshot for when we're making these requests. That dialog is not showing up. But once we go to the response, once the response comes back, now we're able to see this dialog. So the response um, is necessary in order to show that, or rather, the app is waiting for that, most likely. So to keep the timing going correctly, we want to wait on those things, because the what if we what if we're interacting with the app when and those requests maybe didn't come back, therefore the dialog box isn't showing up, right? So it's going to fail. It's going to say, oh, there wasn't the dialog box wasn't showing up, and then you can go in and see, okay, it's we've got this dialog wasn't showing up. Oh, great, and my my light just turned off here. Sorry, guys. Well, I guess we're out of luck on light. Oh well. So let's see. How do I? Just curious.
Mike,
How do I look? Not too bad. Yeah.
this is Leo. Like most of the time, your screen is frozen and I can't see your screen. I don't know
Oh,
about
really?
the internet connection or it's just me. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll try to keep a better eye on it and see why that might be the case. Do you see my mouse moving right now?
Yes, now I can see it.
Okay. All right, great. I can also monitor the feedback, or rather what you guys see. So I'll try to keep an eye on that and see me actually if I can see that. And I can't see it in there. Okay, so I'll just I'll keep an eye on that. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know that. Um, okay, let's see. Okay, so where where were we here? All right, let me bring this back up. Um, so we want to wait on those, because in the event that maybe the request doesn't come back, we want to know what's going on, or rather, we want to wait until those things come back before we try to interact with the uh, with the application. Because if the application isn't ready until the responses come back from that, then we don't want to be interacting with it. So we can actually use sci.route um, and as, which is creating an alias. We can do that to get control of those requests, and then we can use sci.wait to wait on those um, requests. So creating a route for users is pretty straightforward. You just have sci.route, and then um, the method for that, and then the specific resource. So if we go back here, we've got um, this one, the post to users. So you can simply just take that and that method and put it into sci.route. And then as whatever you put in here, it doesn't matter. Just make sure it makes sense. In this case, I'm doing create user. And then if we create, this is what it looks like if we create all of them. So we have users, login, bank accounts, public transactions, and notifications. So if let's go ahead um, and add those in. Now, one of the things you'll see here. So one of the things you'll have to do is you'll have to do sci.server first. So let's do sci.server, and that starts your Cypress server for handling requests. And let's see here. Okay. Just gonna go down over here, shrink that little blob. All right, cool. All right, so let's do sci.route and do post and then users. Whoops. Let's see, users. There we go. And then we could just do dot as and create users, create user, sorry. And we'll just save that. And then if we go into here, now you can see there's actually the alias for that route. And then to wait for it, we just want to go right to where it is. So it's right after we click on sign up. So let's see, we go to sign up, click. So now we could do sci.wait. And then we need to prepend because we're referencing an alias here. So we need to use the at and do create user. And let's go ahead and save it. And there we go. So now we have that route. We know that Cypress recognizes that and it's properly aliased because we have that little tag there. And then we're waiting for it. So when we click on the sign up button, we're waiting for this response before we start typing in the username, because it isn't until this post request gets a response that this is even visible. Okay. So this page won't even be visible until this request comes back. Now, um, that this we happen to be able to somewhat reliably, at least so far, interact uh, with this username field without a problem. But a lot of times, what you'll find in the real world is when you actually go to run a test on CI, and especially on CI, where it's running a lot faster than maybe your local machine because it's not going through the runner, it's running on essentially in like a terminal um, in a server. So a lot of times you'll find that there's more flake because it's not going as slow as here as on your local machine. Um, you might also find differences when you're connected to a real backend. So, in other words, let's just say that, in this case, I'm doing a post, I'm creating a user. Well, that's just communicating with my local host. It's not going through a network. So if I was connected to another, if I was connected to a network, connected to a server, and that server is, under under load, and maybe it's not responding as quickly as my local host, which is pretty realistic. um, you might actually see problems there, and that's kind of the definition of flake, right? That's what flake looks like, is you have tests that are passing 1 minute and failing the next, or passing in one environment and failing in another. And so waiting on things like these XHR, waiting for your application to be ready before you interact with it, is going to reduce that flake. Okay. So we did sci server, sci route. We showed how they look in the command log, and with sci dot sci dot wait. Um, so that's pretty much it for today. Um, it's a little less than usual, but I promise you guys I'm gonna have uh, quite a lot more next time to make up for it. We're gonna talk more about most likely we're gonna talk more about network requests and also creating custom commands. If there's anything in particular that you want me to review, either in more detail or you're hoping to see, certainly make a comment on the Slack channel or just contact me directly, however you want. Um, but yeah, your feedback is definitely appreciated. So for the take home challenge today, what I'd like for you to do is create a data object for the sign in test. So just like we did for sign up, I want you to go in and do that for sign in. Now I just did that on my local machine, and I don't plan on pushing this up to the day two branch. So I want you to do the same thing, okay? Um, fight the urge to copy and paste. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you go to iheartjs.dev /day dash two, you'll find day two. So all of the content, all of the slides and everything, it's all right here. So you can see everything that I went through. So if I went too quickly, or if you happen, for anyone that's missed this, you can look at this. You can look through this, including the take home challenge that I'm presenting right now. So, like I said, try to resist the urge of copying and pasting. I didn't even copy and paste my own code just because I wanted to cement up here and solidify those concepts. That's super important, and it's one of the advantages of going through a workshop like this, because you can read and you can watch, but until you actually do it, whether it be through these challenges or through just your own applying it to your own projects, there's only so much that you're going to really take forward with you. So anyway, onto the take home challenge. Go ahead and create a data object for both of those. So go ahead and pull down day two if you haven't already. Add data objects to both of those specs, the sign in and sign up. Let's see, I didn't specify that here, but do it for both sign in and sign up. And then I also want you to assert that we're on the right page by using sci.location instead of sci.url. If you go to the docs, it's really easy, but I encourage you to look into that, how that works. Um, and then I want you to assert that the sign up link on the sign in page works as expected. So if you remember before, we mentioned that we were testing the sign up page individually, and we weren't going to click on the link. We were just going to visit the sign up page. So I want you to test that, or rather test that link that we didn't get a chance to test. I want to see, how you guys do it. There's a couple of ways to do it. I won't give away too much, um, but we'll talk about that next week. And then next, I want you to wait for all the XHRs in both of our tests. So go into the test, look at the results, look at the XHRs, and do your, sci.route.as, just like I did for both tests. And then I want you to insert all the weights in here. I only did one as an example, but I want you to go in and add bank accounts and public and so forth, and actually add the weights in there. And then lastly, I would recommend that you read the network requests guide in the Cypress docs. Um, yeah, give that a read. There's a lot. I'll just go there now. There's a lot of detail in there. It's a huge guide. It's not so much like, like some of the API references are, although those are helpful too. So if you go into like up here, you click on API and you can go to route, and it actually shows you how side route works if you're really curious. But with the guide, it's a little bit um, more of an overview, um, and I think it's a great read. Me scrolling through this isn't making anything better, but isn't selling it. But I think you'll learn a lot. I think it'll help you kind of get a good handle on how network requests are managed in Cypress, because as I said before, um, managing, or rather handling, network requests helps to reduce flake, and that's one of the biggest reasons for considering Cypress for a lot of you guys. So I definitely recommend that read. And I think that's it. Let's see. Is there anything else? Do. Oh yeah, that's right. I went here from here. And that's it. So I'll hang out for another few minutes. I'll probably go on mute, get a water break here. And if you guys have any questions, feel free um, to ask in the chat, or you can unmute and talk away. Or of course you can hit me up on Slack or contact me any other way. But yeah, thanks again for hanging out with me tonight, and for participating. I appreciate that, and dealing with my lights going out, and Zoom not working the way that I anticipated. So yeah, thanks guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Mike.